What is going on, guys? MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be bringing you guys my top 10 Gunpla of 2022. Another year's roster has been complete again, and with a new Gundam series and poor corporate decisions to have made our year in terms of Gunpla, here are my top 10 kits to have come from the last year. Before I begin though, I must preface this by saying that this list only includes my own opinion based on the kits that I've built. Premium kits are allowed lest we get no kits to consider at all, and I will only be putting at most 2 of the best kits per series to prevent the list by being dominated by G-Witch kits, because the list would more or less look like this if not. Now, I do apologize for the time it took to get this list out because I did have quite a lot on my plate, especially in real life, but without further ado, let's get into it. Starting off at number 10, we have the high-grade Gundam 00 Command Quanta. Now, before the Americans say anything, I must make it clear that this is based on the official release date, not the regional priority release date. That out of the way, the 00 Command Quanta is an interesting twist to the original 00 Quanta, and despite the clashing concepts blending into one, it still produced a lovable kit of quality in the end. Granted, a lot of it is thanks to the old kit being solid to begin with, but with a unique twist coupled with the great part separation, cleverly repurposed weapons and old parts, solid and flexible structure, and of course the added universal compatibility, it still outdoes a good number of kits in the year. For something that is almost brand new, we come to number 9, the high-grade Gem Spartan. Yes, at its core is over a decade old, but I'm pretty impressed with what it manages to achieve since everything on the exterior is brand new. The looks that resulted from the painful build more than pays off the experience of cleaning the knobs on every single piece, while respecting both design interpretations of the mobile suit. The weapons are also impressive, most notably the reload gimmick of the minigun and the color separated knife blade, and of course with all of the different hidden ports all over the body. Sure, it may be an old man in a new set of armor, but the high-grade Gem Spartan is damn fun to pose and mess with, while also having a look very cool, especially for grunts we would have never expected to get a model kit of. Next at number 8, we have the high-grade Lord Astray Omega. I never took notice at how good the Lord Astray mold was until building this guy. The design itself is sharp, which is accurately represented by the kit, the layering of armor pieces and part separation are fantastic, the stripes in the form of decals add a bit of flair to the final looks, and the one weapon it comes with, the Lord Longsword, has all of its gimmicks implemented well. The thing that holds it back is some of the looser joints like the hips and the backpack connection, which dents the experience in some way, but for what is basically an all-new kit without a load of armor to hinder the raw experience, the high-grade Lord Astray Omega makes for an impressive kit from 2022. At number 7, we have the high-grade Phantom Gundam. It's a big finally to the entire Gundam community, and from owning the Robot Damashi figure, there's a baseline to compare the kit to. And it does actually match the figure that is about 4 or 5 times its price quite well. Granted, it reuses the high-grade Crossbone Gundam's frame, which results in the need for parts forming for the Mirage Bird form, but it's not that big of a detriment all things considered, since everything else of the kit, like the looks and articulation, are great, but the party piece that is the Phantom Light is pulled off spectacularly, since the swapping process to activate it is similar but nowhere near as tedious as the Robot Damashi. A better experience for the same design in 1:144 scale at a fraction of the price and hassle. But for another type of mythical creature, there is number 6, the high-grade Shenlong Gundam. How do you keep on reusing the frame and still continue to improve on the overall kit? I won't have been the one at the table to propose the how, but Bandai managed to pull that off in the high-grade Shenlong Gundam. Basic weapons aside, the top-notch part separation and accurate proportions make this a model kit that requires little effort to perfect, and how they managed to nail the Dragon Fang gimmick while also providing locking mechanisms and extending bits to add variety to the poses, it's still naturally one of the most fun out of the wing group. The stickers on the shoulders are not ideal, but it's not the worst detriment in the world. Overall, the high-grade Shenlong Gundam definitely earned its place at number 6. Number 5 actually goes to the real grade Freedom Gundam version GCP. I was surprised that I actually forgot about this release since it's basically a 1.5 for the real grade Freedom that fixed most of its issues. Proportions aside, you cannot deny that the engineering that went into this thing is astounding. Defined details, distinct two-tone, and most notably, the new frame parts for the torso, shoulders, and ankles, and the entirety of the wings. Not to mention the landing gear inside them and the locking rail for the beam saber storage. Bandai addressed a ton of the issues people had with the original real grade Freedom, while also making this one in the image of the statue. Yes, it still does have some issues wherever the frame parts are reused, there's no denying that, but for 1.5 times the price, you're getting what can be considered as a real grade 1.5. Absolutely worth grabbing this one if you want a real grade Freedom. Number 4 is where the G-Witch stuff comes in, starting with the high-grade Darabald, or to not trigger your sensibilities, the Darabalde. I've mentioned in this review that it's one of the most fun I've had with the G-Witch kit, and that still stands even with the releases up to the hind recovered. Simple build, great color separation with no stickers that are a must to apply, nor any seam lines to clean up. Matte from the factory, solid structure that isn't finicky to move around, and of course the drone gimmick you can choose whether or not to indulge in. Even without the G-Witch display base, the drones use 3mm holes for connections, so you can just grab a number of standard sprueless bases and go to town with them, or the wire guided shackle claws that are the feet. If you want something that is relatively accessible and up there on the fun scale for cheap, the high grade Darabald or Darabalde is one kit to consider. Number 3 is actually a 1/100th kit, the Full Mechanics Raider Gundam. I would be cursed if I didn't add this thing here because it properly blurs the line between master grades and full mechanics kits, be it the price or the final build quality. The gimmicks and weapons of the Raider Gundam are nothing too astounding, its looks are. Despite it being mostly black, you can clearly see the vast amount of surface detail put into it. Moreover, the color separation, especially for the red insides of the thrusters and the yellow on the wings, is staggering for what is supposedly an inferior kit to master grades. Oh, and that weapon statement was a lie because the Mjolnir hammer features a winch gimmick for the wire as well as its own adapter and display base to send it out. Honestly, budget 1/100 scale my ass, the Full Mechanics Raider Gundam is just that incredible. However, 2022's runner-up goes to one with the Full Mechanics Raider's qualities, but cheaper and smaller. Enter the high-grade Gundam Lefrith. I don't care what the English dub says, it will always be pronounced Lefrith instead of Ilfrith to me. But for 1600 yen, you get an entry-grade level build with results that the majority of high grades would struggle to even match. Color-separated eyes, barely missing any details, flexible articulation without much restriction and fuss, and of course, well-made weapons, especially that gun-bit shield. Let's not forget the in-mold shell unit looking fantastic, while options are provided for you in the form of the inverted stickers. There is absolutely no arguments, the high-grade Gundam Lefrith is the strongest G-Witch kit of 2022, and still is as of 2023. And finally, the real grade God Gundam takes the crown for being the best kit of 2022. That I've built, of course. The light weapon loadout is compensated for with the vast hand options and the halo for the hyper mode, which was made up of 3 separate plastic layers. There is also the absolutely insane articulation with more points of movement than even transformable kits, and stupid amounts of surface detail and part separation, especially for something so small, which is the most impressive trait of this kit. Something this small, yet it achieves more than kits that are double its price and size, and you'll be glad to hear that despite the loose core lander and forearm rotation, the rest of the kit is still sturdy 6 months since I built it and featured in 4 entire videos. The high grade Lefrith might be the most impressive high grade of the year, but the real grade God Gundam is just the best kit of 2022 among my collection. Of course, that doesn't mean the rest of the kits aren't good, especially because of the limitation I imposed onto the G-Witch kits to add more variety. You have stuff like the high-grade Ariel and high-grade Farax with fully functional gimmicks for their simple builds and cheap prices, with just a couple of blemishes keeping them from the actual list. Or the high-grade Chevalbek Custom and high-grade Red Dragon when you talk about upgrading a kit while producing the variant looks, the high-grade Zeke Rune for its sheer uniqueness and fun gimmicks, and the entry-grade New Gundam for a great representation of the design for just under $10 US, and of course, many more. It was hard to choose the top 10 for the year since most of them were great kits, but those are just my thoughts, so please do share yours in the comments below, especially for the kits I haven't built for the year. And as always, thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more videos from me, and feel free to follow my social media with the links down below. Take it easy guys, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.